this video, we've got our 5th gen Ram HD, so 2500, 3500, and we're gonna be putting a different headliner in it. So I'm gonna show you guys how to remove the headliner. So I am doing some seat conversion and center console conversion, and I figured this is the perfect time to tackle the headliner so we're not trying to maneuver it in and out of the way of seats. So I'm going to show you guys what I need to remove in order to get the headliner down. So you guys could be doing some sort of headliner upgrade or whatnot. But I'm going to be putting one that has the premium speakers in it because we're turning this Tradesman into a limited edition. You can see the one door card that I just changed out, and we're going to be doing everything else. So if you guys are into 5th gen stuff, definitely subscribe, but let's get straight into it. So there's going to be all of these little tabs here. You're going to have to pop them out, so just use a little pick or whatnot. They all pop out. And then it's going to be mostly Phillips. So that one there is a Phillips. This one is a Torx. And then on your grab handles here on both sides, you got a 10, another 10. So we're going to take those out. You would think that this might pop out, but that does not pop out. And then over here on your front grab bars, pop these guys out. A 10, another 10. Up here, you're going to have a Torx, or actually this one's an 8mm, so 8mm, 8mm. And then you also have one right up in there. That's a Torx. And then here, these are speed clips on the back side. And then if you open up your sunglass holder, you're gonna see an 8mm and another 8mm. So take those out, other sun visor, and then it's gonna be a mirror image on the other side. So let's get all that hardware out, and then we should be able to start letting this down, and I'll show you guys what connections there are as well. Okay, so it really wasn't too bad. A couple tips and tricks. The sun visors here, you kind of have to give them a little bit of a yank once you take the two 8mm screws out. Those pop out. The two clips that hold in the front of this on the center console, the overhead console I should say, those ones you do have to put quite a bit of pressure. So I just started at the back, ran my hand down here, and had to give a little one of these to pop those out, but those came out. Those pretty easy. Once you take out 2 bolts, give those a yank. These were a little bit weird. I did have to pop this lower panel off, so there's no screws or anything, but I had to pop this out and then pop it at the bottom and then just slide it down because it has these hooks that go up to help support the headliner. Same deal on both sides. And then I will show you guys that I did have to pop out this panel. So this panel pops off, and then this harness plugs right into there. So there's that there. And I'm pretty happy to tell you guys that it looks like a lot of the wiring is pre-populated on these 5th gens. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in a second. But anyways, we'll have to use a clip tool to pop this off from here, get this out so that it goes with the headliner. And then on the back here, those were pretty straightforward. The 2 Torx, those pop out. Nothing really too much to talk about there. When you do this one here though, definitely when you take out that Phillips screw, use a magnet, otherwise it will fall down into the abyss. And then you can pop this off, pop it rearwards, and then see this right here. So this is the harness that goes into the headliner. You can see here on my Tradesman, it's only got 2 wires going up, but it's got it all populated here for all the extra cool amenities that we're hopefully going to be adding. And then same deal on this side, driver side. I've only got a few wires on this side with my Tradesman, but it looks like it's pretty much fully populated on this side. So unplug these guys here, and like I said, if you're just doing a simple headliner replacement, or if you're trying to add speakers and all that stuff, it's kind of nice to know that the wiring is all there. So that's unplugged, and I can unplug that one, and then we should be able to drop this thing. All right, so there was one more 8mm screw holding the headliner, like the recess part for the back of your overhead console that goes up there. It holds that in. And then I mean, no matter what, you guys, definitely gonna have to have the seats out to accomplish this without wrecking anything. The way I found the best to take it out is trying to go the other way with the steering wheel was not quite working for me. So drop it down like this, and then I came out like that. And that was the way that I found to get it out without completely destroying it. So anyways, that is out. One more thing too is your third brake light. That harness right there, you have to disconnect that, because once I started to drop the headliner, that one was there. And if you have a 360 cam, that plug will also be there as well. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one in. All right, so since I'm documenting this for you guys, if you end up doing this, so this is my original overhead console, and we're gonna be upgrading it, but I have to get one still. So you can tell it's a beige, obviously, but you'll see that large plug right here, and then this plug. That one plugs into the side right there. Hopefully you can see right there. And then when you go over to our premium headliner, so it's got the speakers in there. It's also got the plug for our 360 cam, or the whatever bed cam there. But this has a different plug here for the lights. So I'm gonna have to get the overhead console to get the actual lights to work, but at least the plug that goes to our switch for the back sliding glass, that one will work. So just taking notes for you guys, and yeah, let's get this thing in there and then put it back up. Okay, so headliner is in, you guys. I gotta finish dusting it off just after getting my handprints all over it. I think this is the best way to get it in and out. Didn't do any damage going in or out, but if you guys have a better way, put it in the comments below. I also gotta start searching for all of these. It kind of looks a little interesting with the two-tone, but I'm gonna end up switching it out regardless. Don't forget your 3 plugs, one there, and then the one on the driver's side. And then your other plugs, plug in your third brake light, and if you have the camera for the bed there, plug that in. And then your overhead console. I still gotta get the updated mirrors, or the more expensive premium mirrors that have the lights and whatnot in them, because now I have the pigtails for that on both sides. And then I also gotta get the other overhead console that will plug in correctly. But all right, so it's a few days later, and I obviously have my interior and center console in the truck now. If you guys want to see those videos, check out the other videos on the channel. I show you guys all those conversions, steering wheel conversions, door panels, clusters, all kinds of things. But I wanted to wait before I post this video because I did have to pick this up. So you can put the headliner in here. It is plug and play. But part of the problem I was having is the plug on the original center console is different than the premium and upgraded headliner for whatever reason. So on the back here, since I have the power rear sliding window, that's this plug here. But see this plug here? That one right there, that one's different on my overhead console there, which I'll show you in just a second. So I had to get this one, and you can tell the difference because it has these smaller lights here. They're the LED style, whereas those ones that have the halogen bulbs, and it's a lot bigger light area. So that's how you can tell the difference between the standard one and this one. Also, it does have this cool little button here. It's got the tailgate button. I don't know if it'll work. We'll find out here in a few minutes. But I ended up unplugging the headliner harness, and in doing so you lose the microphones that are in there. But it was driving me crazy until this came in the mail. This light in the middle was just on nonstop. So watch, I'm gonna plug it in, and you don't have any function over that light. It just stays on the whole time while you're driving. So it's super bright and it looks really good, but yeah, it was just on the whole time. I'll show you guys differences on the backs between the plugs, and I'll put this in, and then hopefully we have functionality over that light there. Okay, so here's the 2 physical differences that I was telling you guys. So you can notice that these lights here, they're down in the corners, and this one here has, actually you can't even turn these on and off. I haven't spent enough time inside this thing to really know, but here's the switch for your lights. Here's the buttons for the lights, and these buttons are in totally different spots, and these lights are much tinier. Going to the back is the more important part, as far as just looking at the plugs. So the one for the power sliding rear window, or if you have moonroof, all that stuff, that plug looks to be the same, but this is the one that was different. So see how this one has this tiny little plug here? On this one, it's got a plug here, but this plug is different. So there's a small plug, a slightly bigger plug here, but see this one here, this gray connector, that's the one that's hanging from my headliner harness right here. So this gray one does not plug into the old overhead console. So that's the one that we're gonna have to plug in, and then hopefully we gain our functions back. Okay, so a little progress update for you guys. So that one little plug, I'm not sure what it's for, but you can actually get everything to work. So one of two things. There's a guy named Jimmy. I have never spoken to him, but everybody keeps referencing him in all the forums and whatnot. But he apparently makes an adapter harness to go from your old style plug, so the one that we showed you guys over here. So it will, or he makes some sort of harness that goes from this plug to the other plug. I guess that'll at least get things to work. So you could transfer your old harness over to your new headliner if you wanted. Or if you did what I did, which is get the newer console, and then my headliner came with the harness. Nobody took that off. So this is plugged back in. But in order to get that to work properly, because mine was not working initially, there's two settings in Alpha OBD that you're gonna have to pay attention to. So if I can do this without the glare. So go into your car configuration change, and then just start typing in overhead. So there's gonna be two things here, overhead console type. So you're gonna wanna set that to premium. So there you go, overhead console type. Set that to premium. And then the other setting change you're gonna have to do is overhead module present. So this one is actually a module instead of just two switches. So this one, you need to turn this on. So there you go, set that to yes. And then everything will start working as it should. So even though that one plug right here, not sure what it does. I don't know if it has to do with the SOS buttons or something like that, but that one plug is unplugged. Everything now works. So now my lights, when you press them, they turn on. This actually works. So if you turn this to off, so if I cycle this here, off, on. So this is when your door is open. You can turn lights off. So it's a little bit hard to see, but there's an amber light in there. And then if you just want to turn all the lights on, you hit this one and all the lights here come on. So that's that one. Tailgate one should work. I don't want to try it right now because I am backed into my garage. I'll try it here in a second, probably for you guys. But now I can go ahead and reinstall this. I was digging around trying to see if I could find this plug, maybe in the harness, maybe it was taped up to the harness. I didn't find it anywhere. Let me know if you guys end up doing anything with this plug. I'm assuming it's just to do with these SOS button things, but not too sure. But at least the stuff that I care about is working. So let me put this back in. All right, I know you guys are excited to see if this works, and I am too, but I had to pull the truck forward. So let's see, let's press the button. Oh, it does work. The tailgate goes down. That is pretty freaking cool. I don't know when or why you would need this. Maybe if you're pulling up somewhere, hit that. But yeah, she works. Kind of cool. All right, so everything functions as it should, and these actually started illuminating too. So you not only have, if I turn these off for a second, these should time out. Oh, that one as well. There is a little ambient light that comes out as well. So kind of cool. I don't know if you guys can see it right there on my hand shining out of there. But these two actually illuminated as well. I do have to laugh though, you guys. Kind of my silliness. Hopefully you guys can laugh with me sometimes. This one was actually pressed in. So if you press it like that, it'll stay on. So I'm laughing at my own humility. But yeah, that was, I think that was the reason why that one was on, because it was pressed in that location. But anyways, now everything works. Regardless, you would still have to get this console for everything to function properly, you know, timeout and all the, you know, the switch with the doors and all that stuff. Regardless, you have to get this console or try to, you know, adapt the wires from your old one if you really wanted to stay with the base level console. But this is all in here, it's done. And then we're going to be upgrading the stereo here shortly, and I'll show you guys the stereo upgrades with the factory amp, and then getting those speakers in that headliner working as well. All right, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I hope you guys found it helpful or informative. Make sure you give it a thumbs up for me. Also, check out shopboosted.com. We've got lots of parts, products, services for you guys over there. So go support your boy, go check that out. And if you haven't already, check out the other videos on the channel. We've got all kinds of 5th gen content, 4th gen content we've been doing for years. Recently just got this, so tons of videos on the way, taking this truck from a full tradesman up to a limited truck. So pretty happy, pretty cool that you can do this stuff. A lot of this stuff is plug and play, but you'll have to see the other videos to get into the details on that. Thanks again. See you guys in the next video.